All right, well, I had sound, so that's unfortunate. I got to figure out how to put these videos all into one so I don't have separate videos. But we'll hang out and do this guy. I'll just hold this sign here. That's the sign we're gonna hold. And we'll just see what happens, you know. I'm not here to create division, just here to inform people who have a good heart to do this, but they don't know that they're being lied to. This is a deception. So we're gonna kind of ham it up here first and then present the damage.
Oh shit.
How you doing? Good. What's this guy here?
This is the encouraged airway clearance therapy device to help cystic fibrosis patients break up that mucus and breathe easier.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the new one?
Yep, this is our new enclosure. Yep.
What's it called?
This is the new enclosure design. The name of it is the Encourage.
Oh, okay.
So.
Do you have the Monarch Hillrom?
Nope, this is Respirotech, so we don't carry the Hillrom one. So
okay.
They're our competitors.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So you guys are selling this to CF patients, or like they get like insurance, or?
Yep, they're insurance. Yep, doctors order it for them, and yep. So the doctors order it for them, and the prescriptions come to us, and then we contact the patients.
I see. Okay, cool.
And then
so the vests are really lightweight. The newer vests, you know.
Yeah.
Ours are very lightweight, have a lot of give and take. So
yeah, we have all.
And they're
all
comfortable.
These are all our different patterns that we have.
Yeah.
So we have lots of colors, lots of fun things for the younger patients.
I have cystic fibrosis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a heads up.
Do you have Hillrom then, or?
I have Hillrom, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How long have you had that one for?
I've had the 105 for a couple years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, if you want to check, I mean, if you're in for an upgrade, our rep Michelle, works with with all the doctor's offices here. So.
Okay.
And definitely, if you could.
Yeah. I would rather upgrade my phone than this.
Well, your ones are important though, so.
Well, they are. I've done a lot of research in regards to cystic fibrosis.
Sure.
The CF Foundation is a massive fraud, in my opinion. I don't know if you should probably look into what their motives were in investing in with Kaleido and Vertex. You know, so they invested $150 million at the beginning of around 2000. And they made $3.3 billion off of CF patients in 2014 for conflict of interest issues. Yeah. And this is a title of a news article. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, a charity or a venture capital firm. Yeah. So I'm 36 years old.
Yeah.
I've had cystic fibrosis my whole life.
Okay.
And if you actually do your research, you may or may not find that CF is actually a selenium deficiency. It's my opinion. It's not a genetic disease, ma'am.
Sir, are you a private citizen or a member of the press?
I am a cystic fibrosis patient. Okay, and this is public property.
That's fine. I'm just. Are you a member of the press?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just openly speaking my mind and just kind of collecting information.
That's fine. These are private employees of a private organization.
Awesome.
So we don't have anybody that's a public representative of the organization
That's
here.
fine.
So
I'm openly speaking my mind, and I'm a
That's fine.
cystic fibrosis patient.
That's fine.
And this is public property.
that's fine. Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does my information conflict with your personal beliefs about cystic fibrosis?
We're not here to speak about our personal beliefs on cystic fibrosis.
I am, because cystic
That's fine.
fibrosis is being used to make people money. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I would suggest that you do your research, please.
We're here to support you and
I know.
your
If you were here to support me, then we would all get together and go down to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, because the current CEO makes $1 million a year. How much money do you make a year?
That is really not of
I know.
yours.
I didn't expect you to tell me how much, but
why don't you go ahead and continue on your journey?
Yeah, I'll walk around.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm going to hang out, and I'm going to go about my business in my freely manner, because this is public property.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. But this is a private organization.
I know, and I have cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
So if you want to call the police and escort me out of here, you can go for it, and then it'll make the news, okay?
Not going to do that at all.
All right.
We absolutely support your...
If you supported me, ma'am, call the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and ask them when they're going to have a quote here.
Really,
okay?
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Okay? Do your research, ma'am, and find out that the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a venture capitalist system
You're
and not a
entitled to your
foundation.
beliefs. You're
Yeah,
entitled
I am.
to your beliefs,
Yep.
but this is a private organization.
I know
so
it is, ma'am.
Please go on your way.
I'll go on my way when I feel ready, okay? Thank you. It's a lie, okay? You're lying to children.
I'm not here to be in conflict with you or to confront you.
Then do something about it, ma'am. I know your heart.
on your way.
I know your heart. I understand that you want to help. But if you want to help, please research the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Duly noted. Please
Okay.
be on your way.
Please wake up and find out that the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a scam and a lie. They have $3.5 billion in their bank right now.
Go ahead.
You will not lie to me. You will not lie to these children anymore and keep them in fear and bondage. I wish these people would wake up. This is the sign we're holding, folks. Google that. That is a title for an article, and you can interpret that however you want. How I interpret it, they are using cystic fibrosis patients as a currency to promote a lie. That we will have a cure. And look at this, they're selling stuff. Okay? They asked me to upgrade from my current vest treatment to something new, like I'm upgrading my cell phone. That machine right there probably costs $10,000 to $15,000. It may or may not be covered by insurance. The Kaleido drug costs $300,000 per year per patient. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Check out what Kaleido is. That is the firm that came up with, or that is the drug that a company called Vertex came up with, which just so coincidentally happens to have a pyramid for its emblem. What a coincidence. Let's see. Where do we sign in? I think there's a tent down there. We're going to be here for a while, so I'm just going to get a tour. I want to kind of go to where people are signing up. Another thing I kind of came across, this is a thought, just my own personal opinion. I noticed that they have teams. Yeah, they better bark at those people. They have teams to promote other teams to do a walk. And I wonder if it's all the way down there. So we're just trying to find where people sign in. The walk, quote, officially starts in about 45 minutes. And so I see some stuff going on down there, so maybe that's where the sign-in is. So we'll go down there. These guys are selling stuff. Oh, got the establishment. This is our first interaction with the police. Apparently people are afraid to hear about truth. So let's see what these gentlemen have to say. Hey, gentlemen.
Hey, you okay?
I'm terrific. How about yourself? It's a beautiful day. What can I help you with?
They were saying that you're accosting their
Oh, I'm accosting.
staff.
Well, I'm just sharing information. I have cystic fibrosis myself. Yeah. So, and I'm on public property, and I feel like I'm...
I get it. You're
Yeah.
free to be here. Just
Thanks.
be advised that they feel like they're being threatened to some nature.
I never threatened them. I just threatened them with truth.
I know,
and
but by your actions, they feel like they're threatened. I'm
Oh.
not saying it's right or wrong. Or
I have it on
whatnot.
camera, so later on, if you want to go on Facebook, okay, my name is Joshua Swift. Type in cystic fibrosis, you'll get this video, and then you can make your own discernment
Excellent.
and
I'm
interpretation.
going to keep
so
going.
We're
We're
just
just,
relaying what they told
advising
us.
you.
Totally understand.
Everybody
All right.
perceives
But this
everything
is
differently.
public property here, right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
Justin. Take
Awesome.
care.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good
Everybody
afternoon.
perceives everything differently.
They do.
So if someone perceives a threat level higher than somebody else.
Yeah.
So
When you bring people information, when you
Yeah,
bring
whether
people
it's a threat or
information that they don't agree with, I can understand how somebody can interpret that. So,
all right, take care.
you too, guys. Hey guys, where do you sign up to like?
There's some green. Do you see the green tents over there?
Oh, it's way over there. Okay.
Yeah, that's for registration.
Okay. Did you guys already register? And all
We're
that?
just volunteering.
Oh, okay. Have you ever looked into the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation at all?
Yeah.
You have. Did you know that they have $3.5 billion in their bank right now?
No.
Yeah, you might want to investigate that. They actually got that money off of an investment that they did in early 2000 from a company called Vertex.
Can I help you with something right now? Because we're just trying to get stuff done.
I know. And I'm openly speaking my mind, and I do have cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
And so until you investigate what the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is,
Okay.
you know, so it's just my opinion, and you just so happen to be walking the same direction, and I can openly speak.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you can't. I'm just saying I have my own opinion and you can have yours.
Yep.
And we're just trying to get stuff
Do you,
going.
either of you have cystic fibrosis?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. So this is probably an issue that I would probably look into about CF, using CF patients as currency to make them money.
Okay.
Do you have any idea how much the CEO makes
No.
per year? Makes about $1 million a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's using all of these people who are with a kind heart and a philanthropist's heart to make money off of us, and they don't ever plan on having a cure.
Okay. Well, we're intending to do this WAC
Yeah,
for cystic fibrosis.
I
We're
know.
not doing it for the foundation.
you are, because the
We're doing
Cystic
it-
Fibrosis Foundation runs this.
They do run it.
Yep.
But our hearts are doing it for the people.
I know,
Even though it's supporting the company, we're not doing it for the company. We're
I know.
doing it for the organization.
Yep. And it's my right to inform the public that the CF Foundation is a fraud and a lie,
Okay.
and they never plan on curing us. So please get informed, okay? There's multiple articles to tell you this. They openly tell us that they're using CF patients as currency. Because they're a bunch of liars. Is the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation a charity or a venture capital firm? You be the judge. You decide. In my opinion, from the fruit that the CF Foundation has produced, it's rotten. I wouldn't eat it, but that's my opinion. So I did post the links of some of the information that I have gotten on my previous video. Just a couple minutes. Somebody mentioned that they had no sound. Maybe they had no sound in their end, but I did play the video back and I had sound. So hey, how you doing? Here's some more lies and propaganda. Yeah, it's Jamie Phillips may or may not have a lot of money. I don't know who that person is. I don't know why they would quote that, but you know, again, there's a lot of people here who have a good heart. They are here to do it for CF Foundation or the cystic fibrosis patients. But again, back to the duality thing. They make it appear that they're doing a good thing, but they're actually taking money and the positive lives that somebody could have. You know, there's a lot of people who are sitting in the hospital right now who can't do this because they're being fear-mongered. So we'll just keep walking here. We're in downtown Minneapolis, Lake Calhoun. Doing the great strides for fake walk for cystic fibrosis. I'm not here to make any friends. I'm not here to have people appreciate what I'm doing. They're not going to understand. They're completely asleep. And when presented with information that goes against what they're being taught and told by the establishment, they have cognitive dissonance and they don't know how to react, but ask the establishment to escort a CF patient off the premises when they don't agree with what I'm saying. When I provide evidence and news articles that may or may not show that CF Foundation is a fraud. CF Foundation is a fraud and a lie. He doesn't know any better. So we will hang out at the registration booth. I think I still got a ways to go. And I'm walking right now, right? I'm doing my part. I didn't raise any money for the CF Foundation. I wouldn't ever give these people any money ever again because they're liars. If you can come to my state capital in downtown St. Paul and promote a lie called science and incorporate healthcare in with traveling to Mars and Saturn, that's a deception and a lie. And I'm not going to stand for it. Yeah, the adrenaline's going, you know. I mean, I said at the beginning, this is going to probably be my most controversial episode I've had. It's one thing to laugh off landing on the moon. It's another thing to confront people and tell them that the CF Foundation, I actually thought I had found a good parking spot, and I gotta walk all the way down here for registration. So we're just gonna hang out there. But I'm not a doctor. This is just my opinion of what I found in relation to the CF Foundation. Follow the money, is what they say. Follow the money. And if you follow the money during 9/11, you'll find out that no planes were used. If you follow the money, you'll see that the CF Foundation, coincidentally enough, may or may not have a relationship with the company Hillrom, 2 words, Hill, R-O-M, Hillrom, Monarch. That's a new vest treatment machine that they just released recently, and then that company down there just so happens to release theirs at the same time. Wow, they're not making any money at all. Why do we need 5 companies coming out with treatments and machines? Well, I know why. Because if you make multiple pieces, guess what? The CF Foundation makes more money. And so the Hillrom clearance system is called Monarch, and their emblem just so happens to be a butterfly. So if you're not familiar with MK Ultra Mind Control, that is part of the programming. They have a program called the Monarch program. In movies, sometimes you'll see butterflies being used. The occult use that symbolism, just like the occult uses the phoenix. So if you're familiar with what butterflies do, they're caterpillars, cocoon, butterfly. It's called transformation. A lot of people who are under MK Ultra mind control have multiple personalities, and they are able to go back and forth like a switch. But, you know, this is just me talking openly. What do I know? I'm the idiot. So thanks everybody for stopping by today. Appreciate it. We're going to be here for a while, then we're going to head out. Hey guys, Joshua here. Thanks for your support. Really appreciate it. A lot of people won't agree, won't understand, and won't investigate what I'm bringing to the table today. But someday you'll understand why I'm here. I'm not here to create division. I'm not here to piss anybody off, but new information that contradicts what the CF Foundation is all about will cause some friction. And I may or may not go back to that tent. This is quite a walk. My car is pretty far back there. I'm not going to walk around the entire lake. I'm just going to go up to this tent. I still got another probably 15 or 20 minutes. I didn't know that. The sign up was down here, but then I wouldn't have had an opportunity to trigger those people at that last tent. So here's the Calhoun in downtown Minneapolis. I think the radius of this lake is about 1.5 miles or so. I'm not 100% sure, but it is pretty big. It does take quite a while to walk around it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually probably a couple miles in radius. So it looks good. This is a popular spot for joggers and bikers, as you can see. There's a lot of people, a lot of really nice houses also. And I'm here just to share information. Somebody can take it for what it's worth and roll with it. Not here to judge anybody for coming here because they just don't know any better, you know? They don't know that the CF Foundation is lying to us. I have had multiple conversations with the CF Foundation in regards to the article that I saw and the information presented and why a foundation invested money around 2000, and then in 2014 pulled out of that pharmaceutical company called Vertex and cashed in at $3.3 billion. What a coincidence. 3.3. We have some more propaganda here by the foundation. Let's check it out and see what they're up to. Well, William, you haven't gotten any sleep at all then, because that's a lie. I think you sleep pretty well. Probably on a sleep number bed. I'm going to guess that his sleep number is 10 for being rock hard like his heart. But who am I to judge, right? What do I know? So all we're doing, we're just going to stand here, hold a sign. You know, we don't have to interact with anybody. I'd like to tell people that I do have cystic fibrosis, so I have a little bit of a foundation to be able to spout at the mouth with my claims. Be a nice view, huh? Live in that house and you got this view. So appreciate everybody stopping by, whether it's for the duration or just here and there. I think we might. I have some things on the docket later. Might be a busy day. It is Saturday. So there's a lot of people out. Tomorrow is supposed to be just as nice. And this is probably the same thing. I don't investigate into cancer because I don't have it. My mom does. She was told that she has lung cancer, what, maybe 6-7 years ago, I think? Hey, guess what? She was told she was going to die within 18 months. Who's still alive? Let's put our ear to the railroad track, and who's still alive? Yeah, my mom is still alive. What a surprise. To tell anybody that they have a life expectancy of how many months or years, how dare you? You have no right to say or do that.
It's hard because I want to apple walk now.
Just let a person live their life, you know? How about you cure it first? How about you don't lie to people? Tell them it's something that it's not. So there it is. If you're just joining, I was at a tent a while ago and had a conversation with a few people. Let them know that CF Foundation is a fraud. They were not happy to hear such information. They were questioning why are you here? You know, why are you so upset? You know, why aren't you helping us promote this amazing machine? Oh, do you need an upgrade? Here you go. You know, $60,000 for your enslavement. Here's some more false advertising. Here's some fake news right here, folks. We can land on the moon with Game Boy technology, but we can't cure cystic fibrosis. 1969, we supposedly landed on the moon with technology far inferior to my cell phone right now. And we can't go back. Because Don Pettit, quote, says, "We threw it away." Figured we'd start from scratch is what basically he said, how I interpret that. And now they're scratching their heads to try to figure out how to land back on the moon. These people don't know what's going on, you know. They have a good heart. But I can hear them. They got a microphone going on, speakers and stuff. About 10 minutes until the official time of the walk. So I think I might show up just in time to catch people as they walk away. If you thought the March for Fake Science was controversial, where I show up and clearly I was out of place and they didn't think I belonged there. But maybe I wanted to show up at the state capitol and hang out. And 10,000 people just so happened to be there, promoting fake science. Let's see what this lady thinks. She has no idea. She believes that the CF Foundation has no ulterior motives. Let's get a water out of her first. Then we'll blow her mind. Hey, how's it going? Can I get a water, please? Sure. Thanks. As that's the same young lady I ran into a minute ago. You know, a lot of these people, they don't know any better. They just don't know what's going on. And I'm here to let them know that the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation may or may not be a charity, and it may or may not be a venture capitalist firm to make money off the backs of my fellow human beings who were told at a very young age that they have cystic fibrosis and they're going to die.
In good shape.
I just wish people would wake up. I wish there was a flooding of a consciousness that would just overwhelm this country and we would overthrow the establishment and say that we're tired of our lies, but people love Facebook too much. People love YouTube. People love sports and video games. Here's some more establishment propaganda. You want to support the search for a cure? Why don't you put your foot down and say, I'm tired of waiting? Why is NASA able to get away with $52 million a day to give us Disney cartoons of where we live? Just want to give everybody a heads up too from last night. During my address, there's some comments on the bottom from a bot named Lawrence. Check out that conversation. And I call it a bot because it has misspellings and it tries too hard to be funny. So it is most likely a computer algorithm to fearmonger and troll spelling inconsistencies. Just use discernment, people. There is a massive supercomputer out there right now that has an algorithm for as many human beings that there are on Earth right now. And these bots go on Facebook to troll. They act human, guys. Please use your discernment. They act human on Facebook and on social media to trigger you, to fearmonger you away from what it is that you're posting and you're talking about. So we're going to go in the belly of the beast right now. Trying to just calm myself and understand that all these people don't know what's going on. They really genuinely want to do this and care. I would not be surprised if some of these, quote, teams are funded by the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation to promote other organic teams to be built, propagate a lie. Kind of like George Soros paying crisis actors to make fake news stories. So there's a lot of people here. Just be surprised if there's probably about 5,000 people. Let's hang out here for a minute. Just kind of. Just wish all these people would wake up, please. Please wake up, guys. Please wake up. So the kids too. The kids. Raising money. Raising money.
Exercise is about wellness. It's not about the illness, and all of us need to do it. And that's what makes exercise important. Did you know that your biggest breathing muscle is your diaphragm? But it is also a posture muscle. And when you have CF, you are overutilizing your breathing muscles, so your posture can break down. And this leads to things like back pain at an early age.
I'm just going to stand here with my sign and listen to this lady.
Exercises to eliminate these problems. It's quite amazing. And now, thanks to the foundation, they have sponsored a grant to 31 centers in the United States to fund a physical therapist as part of a clinic. Children's Minnesota is lucky to be one of those clinics. And so now our patients will have access to seeing a PT once a year and more if they need it. So if you
Sounds like they're hiring employees to continue more lies.
You or your child, stop at our Fit Stop, Children's Minnesota, right on the other side of the lake there, and I can answer your questions. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Julie. As I mentioned, the third pillar that supports the foundation is access. And let me tell you, they've been very, very busy out at Capitol Hill. We've been very busy here in Minnesota. And I'm going to bring out a couple of people who have been fighting this battle for a long, long time. They have spearheaded our advocacy efforts here in Minnesota. Pam and Lou Mertz.
We're happy for you. And you don't know any better, guys.
Hey everyone, I'm so glad that they're all showed up today for this great walk. As Joe introduced us, advocacy is a passion that we have had for years. We have been going out to Washington, D.C.
Am I considered an advocate?
Inform our representatives what is cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, what is it?
They now know very well. All of us spell it. They ask about the patients that they've come to know and love, and they are on board. We have a caucus in the House. We have a caucus in the Senate that rally for us, that advocate for us in these great times where health care matters. How many have heard the news lately? There's a new health care bill that's being processed through the House and through the Senate.
More
we have
fear-mongering.
voices. Every single person here has a voice, and we need to make our voices heard.
Yep, I'm making my voice heard.
We absolutely have to be heard. Because all of these great drugs that are being developed by the CF Foundation, all the money that's raised here today, if we don't have access, there's a big gap, and that's a problem. So we are here recruiting anybody and everybody to be on the State A team. Join us. Make your voice matter. It can take minutes. It can take as long as you have. So please, please consider joining the A team because our work is not done. This bill is going to go through the National Senate, and then there's going to be work to be done here at home. So go online, join up, sign up. You can do it right from your computer. You can do it from your phone app. We've made it extremely easy Extremely easy. It's the easiest thing you can do for CF is advocate. So all of us are here because we know someone, love someone who has CF and is battling. So do your part, advocate.
So we're just hanging out, hanging on to our sign here. Just letting everybody know that the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation may or may not be a charity and or a venture capital firm. Strictly working for money.
Make sure you interview me after this.
Hey, definitely, man.
Okay.
Guy wants to be interviewed.
Now,
whatever that means.
I usually don't work off a script, but this company does so much that I'm going to have to read what Libby was nice enough to write up. Our final pillar that we're going to dive into is community. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is set on strengthening and synchronizing our efforts to support people with CF and their families. The focus here is on engaging and supporting our CF families, our volunteers, our care centers, and everyone that is a part of our CF family as a whole. Hillram is an organization that plays an integral role in our CF community. Andy Redding, the Vice President and General Manager at Hillram,
Make sure you Google the article, sir.
is here with us today with his Hillram Walk team, which is on fire this year, and I believe they've already raised $15,000 with their walk team, as well as being a national sponsor of our foundation.
These people don't know any better.
For years, Hillram has sponsored this walk.
They think that what they're doing is genuine, and I understand where they're coming from.
Across the country are being sponsored by Hillram in the next month. So Andy, why don't you come on up here, tell us a little bit of why Hillram's a part of this great community, and he's a special guest that he brought as well.
Gentleman there in the dark shirt said he wanted to.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here.
Interviewed.
I'd like to get the attention of a few more people out there.
There's your monarch.
Not so much to hear my talk, but the next person that I'm introducing has a great story to tell.
I understand you've got a,
As Joe said, my name is Andy Redding.
We're trying to
I have the great honor and privilege of
excited. This is kind of a buzzkill with you up here.
Yeah, I know it is, sir. I have cystic fibrosis, and I'm 36 on May 2nd.
Many of them are here
the
today.
Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a fraud. Oh yeah, we're Facebook Live.
So we are
this is public
super
property.
excited to be here.
All right,
well, at Hillram, our motto
until you
is
cure me, sir.
Clear the way for better days.
And you stop promoting.
And what that means to us
Monarch,
is that we fight every day to provide the latest
I don't even want to
technology
get into detail about that. This is an unbelievable deception.
So that you can
if you have not looked into what the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a part of,
we have a message though for all of you
I would suggest that you
that are
look at
living
that
with
article.
CF or
that's a capital.
supporting the people that are living with CF.
Yeah, I've been here 4.5 years. I know pretty much what we're doing. And
okay. I know you have a genuine heart, sir.
You teach us so much about how
but the last year I've investigated the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
You all
they have over $3.5 billion in their bank account right now because of an investment from Vertex. Is that correct?
And we appreciate
in Kaleido?
You know, I'm a local guy here. I raise money here in Minnesota.
You said you wanted to be interviewed, so I just have a question. Why does the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation have $3.5 billion?
Let's do that for the program, okay?
Okay, when is it over?
Every day.
We're going to walk
Nicholas Joe.
Okay, I'll be here. Yep, kind of a buzzkill, huh?
Wow, this is awesome.
People hate the truth.
The introduction. My name is Nicholas Job, and I'm a 26-year-old cystic fibrosis patient.
Who's a sellout to the American and human race?
Thank you all.
So this is their look at Monarch.
That's obviously very
that's Monarch.
dear to my heart.
Without all
of
your
your guys'
camera.
support, me and all the others with CF aren't able to stand here and be here today. When I was born, I was diagnosed when I was 4 months old, and the difference from where medication
people don't know any better, Lord. Please wake them up.
was when I was born and where it is today is a night and day difference. The hope that families and
if you're not familiar with Monarch and MK Ultra mind control, they coincidentally have the butterfly. Please investigate this information.
Technology like the best and Monarch and other medical technology is incredible.
Go with my other side.
Without you guys and all the money that you have all donated and all the time that you guys take out of each and every one of you guys' days means so much to
I know
me.
he believes what he's saying,
my
but
parents, I know my colleagues, I know other patients' families. It means so much.
This lady's
to
trying
them.
to be a
Without all your
provocateur
guys'
and
support,
get in my way of the
we're not
signage.
here today, and you guys are actually making a difference in our lives. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, I want to talk about the mission needs. So, there's 4 different mission needs.
You're all right.
So, I'm going to start with, so the blue beads. And go pick up your beads over here at the tent over here. So if you wear one of these blue beads, you know someone will see it. You have a loved one.
Yeah, this isn't New Orleans during Fat Tuesday. Why are we handing beads out to children? Do you see how the duality is here, folks? They're handing out beads to people. What do you do when you hand out beads to females? What do you get? What do you do when you get beads during Fat Tuesday?
For our CF care centers. And
think about it. Come on.
I'm not standing here.
They're handing out beads.
And I love my care team, and they do.
They're handing out beads, right? Do they hand out beads during Fat Tuesday also in New Orleans? It's called duality, guys. They're mocking us right now. What do you do when you hand beads to a girl during Fat Tuesday? What do you get? Yeah. Yeah, it's called duality, guys. Esoteric, exoteric. Okay, please investigate what monarch means. It's a massive fraud. CF Foundation is a bank. They have $3.5 billion in their bank account right now. That's more than most third world countries. I will, yeah, but this is public property. Okay, I know the truth hurts, but please investigate. Please investigate this title. Okay, I have cystic fibrosis also, and I'm 36 years old. Okay, so I understand your heart. Okay, I do, but investigate them, and I've been doing it for the last year, and that's why I'm here.
These are the people that we're all here for. Without people helping and fighting this disease, like I said, I'm not here today. So if you have CF, make sure you go on and put one of these on. And
yeah, put a bead on.
Together, I think everyone can make a difference. All the time, all the money, all the awareness that you guys are giving to each and every one of those patients is so incredible. And I think it's incredible how many people are here today. So together, let's make a difference and add tomorrows to CF patients' lives. So thank you very much, and let's make this a great success.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, we're going to get to walk on a little bit. Just a couple of notes. We're sharing the lake with everybody else that's out here having a walk or a ride today. So make sure that we allow people to pass on the path and do not venture on the bike path, okay? So we're sharing the lake with a lot of people today. Safety is a priority, so just make sure we walk as close to single file as we can, and please do not venture on the bike path. The starting line is over here. We got those columns over here. That's where we're going to start. And we have water stops along the route. So
He's a tough guy.
You stay hydrated out there. And
threatening violence when somebody brings them the truth. That's usually the reaction.
Have a great walk. Let's do a countdown. I hear there's a drum line here somewhere.
Immature, middle finger. Typical response from people who believe we live in a ball.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks for coming out to Minneapolis Great Skies. Have a great walk. We'll see you back in about 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. How you doing? That's all I want. Do a massive study on newborn babies diagnosed with cystic fibrosis using selenium. It's that guy talking over there. Like, I don't know you're talking about me, dude. Like, he said I was a buzzkill. Yeah, you're right, I am a buzzkill. I'm a home wrecker. I wreck homes, and I divide families with the truth. And if you don't like it, it's your prerogative.
Can we shut that off? And
No,
then,
I can't, sir.
Okay,
This
all
is
right.
public property.
No,
So-
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a request, but I'm going to deny that request as Minnesota Ordinance 626.02. I can publicly broadcast, live stream,
Okay.
and videotape.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
So my role here is I run the chapter.
Yep, my role here is to let the public know that the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a fraud, and that's my opinion.
Okay.
So,
I'm just coming over to tell you that, like, a lot of the questions you have, you should call our national office.
I have, sir, and they don't give me any answers. They continually give me lies, avoid me, and I can't talk to anybody who's credible to give me those answers, sir. So until that happens, it's a beautiful day, and I'm going to be here for a while.
Well, that would be where you'd go. You talk to the national office.
I've already been there, sir.
At the chapter level, we raise money at events. And that's
I'm tired of raising money, sir. I want a cure, okay? If they can, quote, send a fake probe to Jupiter, which is a fake planet, last year on July 4th for $1.1 billion, okay, to give us CGI, and NASA can, quote, send us to the moon in 1969 with Game Boy technology, and we can't find a cure for 70,000 people. 70,000 people, sir. If you divide that amongst $3.5 billion, that's over $45,000 a CF patient. We are currency, and we are being used to promote a lie that may or may not be genetic and may or may not be cured with just a simple selenium mineral deficiency, okay? Why is this guy being suppressed, and why did he get a book deal after he was told to leave the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation from Beale?
I don't know.
I know you don't know the answer, Mern. This is new information. I've been on this for about a year. So I would suggest that you investigate such claims. John Wallach, selenium. He's got a lot of information out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm basically calling his bluff, too, because if he's saying that cystic fibrosis is a selenium deficiency and not a genetic illness, what do you think the CF Foundation is doing? Is that a deception, or are they being honest?
You'd have to talk to them. Like,
yeah,
again,
they don't talk to me, sir, because they don't like to hear somebody going against herding people into a belief system that there's going to be a cure for something, that we would land on Mars before we cure anybody. And if you watch any of my videos, you'll see that I don't believe that we can ever land on Mars. So which is going to come first, us landing on Mars or a cure?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, yeah. I appreciate you being out here.
I appreciate your time, sir. Thanks a lot, man. How you doing? Good. This is a news article. I'd suggest that you check it out. Okay? Yeah, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a fraud, sir. Yeah, they have $3.5 billion in their bank account right now. They have more money than most third world countries. Does that make any sense? I have cystic fibrosis, sir, so I have a right to be here and proclaim what I've interpreted as truth. Yep, that's great. Please wake up. We're going to walk with most of these people.
I did that yesterday. It looks like Olivia gave all the money.
There's the beads.
Oh, there we go.
Coffee. Could be some coffee right now. I have some coffee in my car. And then they use music like this, fight song, to propagate an agenda.
Absolutely. You guys good to go? When you guys finish,
This guy spoke earlier. There's your monarch right there. Monarch butterfly. Come on, guys, wake up, please. Everybody's afraid. They would rather live in bondage than seek the truth. Like this guy, he may or may not be a sellout. He spoke earlier. It sounded like it takes about an hour to walk around, huh? Hey. I have cystic fibrosis. Would you take a picture of me?
Absolutely.
All right.
Love it.
Thanks. Held up my sign there while she took a picture, so she'll probably delete it when she sees that, because it doesn't promote the agenda here. Yeah, it's a news article. I would suggest that you read it. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a fraud. Yeah, they have $3.5 billion in their bank account. Yeah, that's more than third world countries have. No, they're not, sir. They're using cystic fibrosis patients as currency, and I'm one of them, okay? I'm sorry?
I hope they help you a little.
No, they haven't helped me, sir. That's why I'm here. We do this every year, man. How many times we got to ask for a cure?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have CF?
Yeah, I do.
Then please stay with my daughter, okay? She has CF too.
Okay, that's more fear-mongering.
No, that's fear. No, it's
no,
not.
It is fear-mongering, man.
You can pass a
no, you
disease
can't,
back
sir.
and forth. You can't?
No, you can't.
Okay, would you like to talk to my doctor?
Yeah, I would like to talk to your doctor,
Fantastic.
sir.
He's here. I can
awesome.
go get him.
Go
Dr.
get him.
Pryor.
Yeah,
okay.
do it.
Please
Okay.
stay right here.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
I used to hang out with CF patients all the time when I was in the hospital. Guess what happened? I was fine. I can do whatever I want, sir. This is public property.
I'm asking you to please keep your distance from
You're
my
provoking
daughter.
yourself, sir, and how you
No,
react
I'm
is
not,
up to you.
You're right. But I'm asking you to stay away from my doctor.
Your doctor?
My daughter.
Okay.
Now you're just being a jerk.
I know.
Okay.
But go get your doctor, sir.
I will. But I'm asking you to please keep your distance in the meantime. Would you please do that for me?
Yeah, I can respect your request,
Awesome.
okay?
Thank you.
We'll just stand here at the starting line. Let everybody know that CF Foundation is a fraud. A bunch of liars. I'm tired of it. Please wake these people up. Please wake these people up. That's more fear-mongering. They separate cystic fibrosis patients with the idea that they may or may not contract, quote, their disease or bugs. When I was younger, I used to hang out with CF patients all the time. Had a lot of fun. Guess what? I'm healthy, right? There's nothing wrong with me. It's fear-mongering to separate people who are like-minded to be able to relate to each other and hang out. And so when they tell you that all cystic fibrosis people should separate, then what's that going to do? That's going to isolate. It's going to isolate cystic fibrosis patients. And then who do they have to turn to? Well, they have doctors to turn to, right? Because they love them. Oh, he's not coming back with his doctor. Funny.
Out on the walk right now, but
of course they are.
Well, where else would they be? We're here doing a charity event. What do you think?
Yeah, sir.
But tell me more about. I'm actually interested. I'm not being confrontational.
Okay.
But
yeah. After about a year's worth of research, I checked this guy out, Dr. Joel Wallach. Okay.
Yeah.
He did a fascinating study in regards to selenium and cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
And it may or may not be a selenium mineral deficiency and not a genetic disease.
Okay.
And so, from that research, I investigated and I followed the money, and I found out that in about 2000, the CF Foundation invested about $150 million into Vertex.
Okay.
You familiar with what Vertex is?
No.
Okay, they're the pharmaceutical company that created Kalydeco.
Okay.
Okay, and or maybe Pulmozyme.
Right, which makes sense.
Yep. And so because of, quote, conflict of interest, because the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation was working in cahoots with this pharmaceutical company, they pulled out in 2015 or 2014, and they made $3.3 billion.
Wait, they pulled out?
Yeah, because of a conflict of interest,
no,
sir.
I've read that. That's not what they did at all.
Yeah, they did.
Wait.
It's a New York Times article.
Oh, I know it is. And it was not exactly what it was about at all.
It was a conflict of interest.
It was to make profit for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation so they could reinvest in other ways to find a cure. I don't know where you got that from.
I know.
That's completely wrong.
It's not wrong.
It is.
No.
I've read as much as
Okay, then what's your
else
interpretation of it then?
My interpretation, I just told you what it was.
Okay.
They invested in a company. They try to get it to grow to make it profitable. It's a business model that a lot of people are copying right now. It's in the New York Times.
And that's
I know.
this right here.
Of course it is. They're trying to grow the business so they can make more money to invest in the research.
I know you want to believe that, man.
I want to believe it. Why don't you believe it? Tell me that.
Because these people are frauds, and they're
just
fraudulent.
because they're a fraud, that's not a statement.
That's my opinion.
It's an opinion. You're
and
right.
it's through my research that looking that the CEO makes over $1 million a year.
That's actually pretty cheap compared to what most CEOs make. I'm not justifying it, but look at the CEO of GM. How much does she make?
We're not here talking about that. We're here talking about CF.
Not, but I'm
so
saying,
don't try to change the subject, sir, please.
Okay. So let's talk about a hospital or
let's
a
talk
CEO
about cystic
of a hospital.
fibrosis.
Right, we are. Okay. I'm saying for CEOs, that's pretty standard for a pay on the low end scale right now. And that's not abnormal at all.
Okay, if you want to defend the people who are oppressing us and keeping us from doing a selenium study...
Stopping you from... What do you mean they're stopping you from a selenium study?
Nobody will do a selenium study right now. I've called the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and they refuse to acknowledge that this may or may not be an honest statement.
Because they've already looked into it.
Where's the study, man? Have you looked into the study? Because
no,
I
haven't,
into it.
But I guarantee you they've already looked into it.
Okay, I've looked into it.
Okay.
And it wasn't a good enough study to prove.
In your opinion, it wasn't a good study to
that
prove.
That may or may not be selenium deficiency.
In your opinion, right. So this company is trying to find a cure for this problem, and you're telling me that they've just glossed over this because they think it'll cure it.
Yep, I do.
Because they want to be profitable.
You have no idea and cannot imagine what the establishment wants to do to us.
That's the problem.
Do you know what eugenics is?
Yes, I know eugenics is. Are you really going to pull that card right now?
I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah, are you familiar with Agenda 21?
If you're going to pull out eugenics, dude, what country do you think we live in? Where do we live?
Nazi America. It's the United States.
America. We live in a capitalist economy.
Yeah, this is the United States of corporate America.
We are not okay with eugenics in this country. And the fact that you think that is happening here makes you a Nazi affiliator.
Yeah.
Not the people that are working
opinion, sir.
Yeah, I know it is. Yep. It's as strong as your opinion. But seriously, if you think eugenics has anything to do with this, you are severely clouded.
Are you familiar with what Agenda 2030 is?
You know what? I don't need to know what it is. Seriously.
Okay.
And I'll claim ignorance on that. But if you're going to talk about eugenics, man, come on. That's ridiculous.
It's part of the problem, yeah.
You understand the basis of cystic fibrosis started when the plague broke out. Do you think that they're trying to facilitate a way to... That's crazy talk.
Do you believe everything the establishment tells you, sir?
Do you think all I've read is stuff from one specific source?
Yeah, the establishment.
Who is the establishment? The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation?
Yes, Cystic Fibrosis Foundation,
No.
New York Times.
No, I did all my research when she was in the hospital for 9 weeks with her bowels pulled open from genetics websites, not from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. In fact, we don't affiliate with that community very much at all because
I need to know... Is that peer review? Is that like a peer review type of deal?
Yes, it was.
Did you have to pay for that?
No.
Okay.
No, and I know what peer reviewed is. Thank you for making that statement.
Sure.
This was a website I had when I was in college I still have access to.
Okay.
And I didn't have to because it was about genetics. But that you think this has anything to do with eugenics is just crazy. I mean, that's flat out
It's part of the problem, yes, but I wouldn't be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning
that's
if I thought that I didn't have any kind of truth to what I'm saying.
No, and obviously...
Have you ever looked into this? This is the title of a news article.
Agree. You believe what you believe, and nobody can change that. But don't come out here telling people that there's something to eugenics. That's
I told you, I'm not going around spouting that off,
okay.
but you and I are
Fair
enough to have this conversation.
That's fair enough, yeah.
And I brought it up to you, and I think that might be part of the agenda.
How are you? I mean, not only like as a person,
I'm
but
terrific,
like
man.
cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, I actually started to wean myself away from all the treatments about 18 months ago.
Okay.
I juice every morning.
Right.
I'm moving towards a vegan type diet. I do struggle with chicken and beef and meat and stuff. But
how are your airways? How is your...
Man, I am at the top percentile every time I go in there.
That's good.
I mean, I'm not bragging or boasting. I'm just saying, like...
What is your mutation specifically?
I know that my mutation is a problem.
What is the number? What is your cystic
I don't know,
mutation?
man. I don't have. I have a number that's called Joshua Swift. That's
Okay,
my name.
That makes me skeptical because if you don't know your specific mutation, I don't know to what degree you actually have CF because I have never met anybody that has CF that doesn't know their specific mutation. And I can pull out my phone right now and tell you what my daughter is, what she has.
That's cool, man.
Why would you not know that?
Because I don't give a
That's
rip,
like
man.
your social security number.
No, it's not.
It really is.
It does not identify me. I'm a human being
it
first.
identifies something about you that's very
I am a
important.
human being first.
You're right,
sir.
you are. Absolutely.
I'm not a number.
Why would I think that you're not?
Because you
That's
just told me
insane.
that if I don't know my number of cystic fibrosis mutation, then how do I know my social security number?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying
You
if you don't
compared
know
the two.
I did because it's that legitimate as far
No,
as
it's not, man. I don't get pulled over or I don't
Nobody's saying
go.
it
I don't get
identifies
credit.
you, but I'm saying I doubt your anything you're
You
saying.
can doubt
now.
whatever you want, man, and you can go onto my Facebook, Joshua
That's
Swift.
fine, man. I'm saying,
cystic
but
fibrosis.
if you actually
and you
don't
can go
know
down
your
to
own mutation
Riverside.
number, it makes me skeptical that you actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can be skeptical all you want, and
Yeah,
that's
I am
totally
being
up to
extremely
you.
skeptical. Why wouldn't
But I was
be?
born with cystic fibrosis in Rochester, Minnesota. At 6 months is when I was diagnosed.
At 6 months.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
which makes sense. A lot of that far. How old are you? 25, 26 now? I have no idea.
I know you don't, and you can take my word for it. But I just
No,
turned
I'm saying
36
that was-
on May 2nd.
That's fantastic.
Okay,
But
so
I'm
you
saying-
believe that, but you don't believe the legitimacy of whether or not I may or may not have cystic fibrosis because I don't know my quote number.
No. If I was that concerned about your age, I would ask you to pull your license out. I'm not that concerned about it.
But
I'm
you
saying-
believe me?
No, my point is that was before they were doing mandatory sweat testing. So it's not that surprising they didn't find out until 6 months. It makes perfect sense. I mean, you fit the model as far as your body shape goes to be CF, so that makes sense. But I'm just shocked that you don't know your number, which is really strange for somebody that has
Because
CF.
it doesn't identify me, man.
No, it doesn't. But the genetic mutation helps people determine what is the best treatment for you.
Yeah, it's called mind control when you get people to believe that and
not
say,
mind
"Hey, what's your number?"
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious, and it's new information
It's
to you,
hilarious.
man. And I
No,
know it
it's
sounds
hilarious
crazy.
because that you think that you are the only one that can.
I am the only one that would ever come here and go against the crowd and tell people that the CF Foundation is a
That
massive
doesn't make
fraud.
you right. That
It
doesn't make you wrong.
But it doesn't make
it right
these
either.
all these people here right either. And I once did walks and climbs at the IDS Hour.
Fantastic.
But I was in the
Wait.
ignorance.
Okay, hopefully you were invited, but I guess that's a whole different discussion.
Exactly.
about
More fear mongering because what the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation wants to do is to keep CF patients in isolation from other CF patients.
They do. That's
Yep.
absolutely true.
And what does
why
that
is-
do to a person's
but
conscience and
based
personality?
on their propaganda, we'll call it. Why is it they want to do that? Not your opinion, on their propaganda.
Because they say that we may or may not transmit various different bugs to each other.
Of which the most important is Pseudomonas.
Yeah, and guess what?
Which
Up until
a normal human being can't get. They don't have
that's
the
what they
mucus
tell
in their
you.
lungs.
So you're taking somebody else's word for it?
No,
That's
I'm
fine.
not. I told you I did the research before I even found out about the CF Foundation.
But you
before
did the
doctors used to go
research
through our
from
room.
somebody who told you about
No,
this news article.
I did the research from a website that talks about genetics and different genetic disorders.
And that's your interpretation of what you read.
Okay. Are you a climate denier as well?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Thanks.
Why do I have to be a climate denier and you walk away, man? You afraid to hear the truth about stuff?
If you want to think I'm afraid, you can think I'm afraid.
Okay. I hope you wake up, man. You'll understand why I'm here someday. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but someday you will. All right. Was it good interaction? Huh. So everybody's walking right now. I don't think they'll all be back here. I don't want to walk. I'm lazy today. I got enough walking to do later. So we will hold our energy for a bit. Are you a climate denier? Come on, man. And if I don't know my cystic fibrosis mutation, then, you know, what credibility do I have, right? You know, you don't have your number. We're all numbers now. We're based on our cystic fibrosis mutation, not who we are as individuals. You know, I can't even use the new pharmaceutical drug called Caletico. because my quote mutation isn't proper. It doesn't work properly. You know, you figure you spend $3.3 billion on medication, you'd be able to help all CF patients, but you can't. What's your name again, sir? I just got a question for you. No, it's not over the top, man.
It makes me think you're more of a conspiracy theorist than anything else.
Do you have any idea where that term came from, conspiracy theorist?
No, but I'm not going to get into that topic with you.
Okay.
But in short, you know and I know there are different variations of CF.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
There was a guy that was just in the news that was diagnosed at 50 years old. Okay.
That doesn't make any sense. How does that make any sense?
It makes perfect sense.
You can live for 50 years old with a terminal illness.
What did I just say? No, I said severity, and you know that.
Okay.
There are different severities. They've classified them into 4 different groups of people as far as severity goes. And,
Okay.
and hopefully you've read that and know that, right?
Yeah, it's interesting, and that's why
everybody
that's
has
one
the
thing
same
that's really
mutation.
bizarre.
I mean, there are over 1,500 mutations. You understand that, correct?
Yeah, there's also a lot of stuff that you're gonna that I could tell you that I got to take.
No,
you got to take my word
there are
for
different
it.
severities of it. People don't always know they have this because they're different severities. So some are born with a bowel obstruction. My daughter was.
Yep.
And the reason they thought she might have CF because she had a bowel obstruction. Not everybody is born with that same severity. It's the same as any other disorder that people have. I mean, we've stopped evolving as a human species. In agreement?
We never evolved from anything, sir.
No,
we were created like this immediately.
Fair enough. I'm saying adaptations, is that a better word?
Okay.
I'm not saying we evolved from anything, but
Okay.
different species adapt to different environments, right? We as a human species now have so much medical knowledge, we have no reason to adapt anymore. We're trying to cure the current problems that we have. And this we'll call it a spectrum. There's an autism spectrum.
Yeah, I know about a spectrum. Do you know who Bill Nye is?
Yeah, we want to talk to him.
Yeah. So if you go on Bill Nye,
the concept is
he's
that there are
sexual
variations
spectrum.
of CF.
Yeah.
Okay, some are less severe and some are more severe. Some are immediately life-threatening. My daughter would have died at the hospital without that surgery because she had CF. Period. There are people that have such a minor mutation that doesn't affect them until like they're 50 years old. It's as simple as that. So that you obviously don't have the same mutation that somebody else does. You don't need the same treatments. Nobody's saying that you have to.
I was born in '81, sir, and
right.
From when I was born, I was supposed to quote die at 6 years old, though.
What's that?
I was supposed to die when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why didn't you?
I don't know. Maybe God. Maybe that's why I'm here.
That's possible. That's totally fair. But not everybody has to have the same treatment. They treat them. Everybody is different. You can have the exact same mutation that somebody else does, and they get treated completely different. They'll have 2 different reactions to the environment around them.
And that's just like a personal. It's just like a person's personal experience with anything in life. You know.
Except it's genetic.
It may or may not be genetic, sir.
It may or may not be genetic.
Yep.
That's your statement.
Well, it is a statement.
Do you understand genetics?
I have an idea of genetics, yeah.
Well, I studied genetics for 3 months straight, for 6 hours a day, staying
That's
in
great.
the hospital.
That doesn't make you any more smarter than me, though.
No, but it makes me more knowledgeable, clearly, about what genetics are. And the fact that you can call me a pundit of genetics. How about that?
Sure.
You don't understand that basis of it?
So you ridicule me for being a, quote, conspiracy theorist, but when you are nose deep into the establishment's peer reviews about genetics, that makes you more credible than a, quote, conspiracy theorist. Is that correct?
No, I'm not going to say that at all. What I'm saying is because I've done more research into this one specific topic that has more to do with the CF Foundation or their treatments, makes me knowledgeable on what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And that I know that it's not just some random thing that people are making up so they can make money.
No,
I mean, they used to, back when the plagues were all over Europe, right?
From what they tell us, I wasn't alive at that time, so I don't know.
Fair enough. So there was not a lot of documentation because people were dying en masse.
Sure.
But what we do know is that they used to call children bewitched. They would tell these mothers to lick their children because if they were salty, they were probably going to die within a year.
Yeah, I'm totally aware of that.
Then why is it people that have been diagnosed with CF at birth or within 6 months are now living longer than they had when you were born, back in the 80s or even the 90s? Why does that happen? You don't think the research has anything to do with it? That they develop new treatments to help people live longer.
Yeah, I believe that they understand the human genome enough to be able to understand the treatments that we get now will allow it to give the illusion that their treatments are helping, when in actuality it may or may not be a selenium deficiency.
On that, so you're hung up on the selenium deficiency is the only thing.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Because you think they can cure it off of that one thing.
Nobody do a study right now of 10,000 people, but they refuse to do it.
But
and the CF Foundation won't admit
that they did a study of it. You did acknowledge that, correct?
Yep, and it actually showed that there was improvements with selenium.
In some cases. How many
cases? Yeah, and I can't take Kalydeco.
Okay? Well, of course
So-
you can't. My daughter can't either.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of odd
No,
that
it's
only
not,
certain
because
people
it's
can and
developed
cannot
for
take
the
it?
most common mutation, the DF508, and
Oh,
you know
okay.
that.
So for $3.3 billion, they can't develop something to help all 70,000 people who have cystic fibrosis?
Do you know how to mutate genes specifically? Can you?
They do know how to do that.
Yo, they do.
Yep.
There's two
they
ways to
they
do
add
it.
animals and human genome right now to create chimeras. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
only
check
way
that
you
out.
could, okay, what you're talking about is the only way you can actually mutate a gene. They found you can give it to a mosquito can cause a mutation in your gene. They understand that, okay? But if you think that they can control what happens when the mosquito injects you and how where it goes to, that's insane. You can't actually do that yet.
You don't think that they have the capabilities of programming genetics to make it do what they want to?
Absolutely not. That is
okay,
not possible
well, that's
yet.
just, I guess I'm
we
a
don't have that
conspiracy
technology
theorist.
yet.
Oh. Really?
Tell me where they've actually done that. Where I'm not saying they gave a mosquito a mutation or they gave them some sort of.
So they've never given
thing.
like, I don't know, West Nile virus or anything in a mosquito,
right? Perfect.
To infect people with a quote
That's a
disease.
perfect example of it. Okay, so they can transmit that, right?
Yeah, they use them. They put that specifically in a mosquito, and then those mosquitoes interact with the human genome, and then it creates a virus.
Right. Exactly.
They do that on purpose for, again, Agenda 202030.
That's scary.
Yeah, it
you
is.
Think that's true. That's really scary.
Hey, that's fine,
And
man. That's just
I
my
understand as
opinion.
much as you do is that if we are completely colluded in our minds to think that that capitalism doesn't drive more what happens to this economy than anything else does, I understand that. I completely get that.
Okay.
And I don't believe that it's like this perfect world where it's people are right and they're wrong. I get there's this gray area they're trying to make money off people. I totally get that, and I'm against
but
that.
they wouldn't do that with cystic fibrosis.
This foundation hasn't shown me anything that they would do that. No, they wouldn't. But you can't control what a mosquito gives to somebody, or to what degree, or how that happens. I mean,
you can't.
You can't. I mean, when that mosquito infects it, so why can't we give a mosquito HIV and have them pass it along?
How do you know they may or may not have done that?
Do you know that?
I don't know.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the externalities of like what can and cannot happen. We're talking about what we physically can and cannot do.
But you're
And
taking your information and you're basing your judgments.
You cannot cure anything by giving a mosquito some kind of disease or an infection and passing it to somebody else and expecting it to do exactly what you want it to do. Because in genetics, the stop gene that causes cystic fibrosis has got 1,800 some mutations. There was 1,500 when she was born 3 years ago, and now they've discovered even more since then. You can't tell it to affect that gene specifically. I mean, the Delta F508 is literally it's a name, or it's a location of that gene. And my daughter doesn't have the same one. It won't affect her specifically. You can't tell a gene to do exactly what you want it to do. It's not possible.
Okay, that's your opinion.
I'm
but
saying, where have you?
I certainly have looked
so you
into
can
it.
pass diseases. We know that the tistis flies can pass. Over in Africa, give you like the sleeping sickness, they call it. Okay, but you can't tell it to do something specifically to somebody like that. Just because you can get sick for something. I mean, I can pass a cold back and forth with you. Okay, that doesn't make me able to change your genetic makeup. I can't do that, right?
You may or may not be able to. You need to understand.
You keep saying yes, you may or may not.
Yeah,
be able
because
to, but that has nothing to do
because
with
I don't
want to.
Because I'm not a doctor.
No, it doesn't,
because I'm just a guy with cystic fibrosis.
You're right, but
and
we
this is just
rely
my
on these
opinion,
people
man.
to help us.
I don't rely on these people anymore, man.
You don't have to rely on these people. What I'm saying, as a human society, we rely on these people to help us, and everybody knows
ignorantly
that.
Unfortunately,
okay, you're talking to the wrong person, because I got news for you. All right,
yeah.
I wasn't brought up on some ignorance of like medicine is the only answer. I
Sounds
understand
like
the concept. I've read that dead doctors don't lie. Have you read that?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
it was
understand
written
that.
by Joel Wallach.
Thank you. I actually didn't know that. That's good to know. But I understand that, and I don't subscribe holistic to the idea that
which is
without
funny.
medicine we're going to die. I juice. I do a lot of other things that I know are beneficial. But if my daughter's life is in danger, and I understand that based on my knowledge, I'm not going to put her in danger by not taking her to the doctor when she has something that could kill her.
Yeah. So that's slavery and mind control.
Slavery. She would have died at birth. At birth.
I should have died at birth too.
No, you said that you should die at 6 years.
I was.
No. You have a different mutation. You're trying to change the conversation, and there are different mutations.
But I was given a life
lighter, heavy
expectancy.
ones. Right, you were, and you were given a treatment.
I was told to get a lung transplant when I was 9 years old, man.
So
and I refused
let's make an analogy here. So the people say that like. I think it was back in the 60s or 70s that we were basically all the snow in the world be melted by the year 2000.
Yeah, which is false.
They use that as some
fear-mongering.
It's fear-mongering, exactly, because we made changes. We've made
no,
things
it was
to make
never.
it better.
It was never true in the first place, man. You cannot.
I'm making an analogy.
Cannot,
which I knew was a bad one.
I know, but you can't affect
I'm saying
environment from cow farts, man.
You're right. I shouldn't have gone on that topic. It's fine.
You just walked away because I brought up global warming.
I know, and I came
and you
back
just brought
because
it up.
I have just blown away that somebody actually thinks that you can't be helped by medicine. That's what you're telling me right now.
No, I think that there is parts of medicine that is good.
I do too.
But when a company makes billions of dollars off of the investment...
Okay, now tell me where that money has been going. Where do they go? Because all I've seen in their history...
It goes into
my wife is an accountant, okay?
Yep.
She actually mapped out how much money they've made since the beginning. And they don't spend money on any externalities, as in they don't just throw money away. It's been getting bigger. They don't increase their...
So you saw the audit of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation?
The one for last year?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. What do you want to talk about with it?
I'm just...
Yeah, I know exactly how much they put into people's payments. I know how much they put into research. I know how much put into investments.
Yep.
They invest in more than just medical companies because they're trying to grow the basis of their money to be able to do more research. I mean, it's expensive. How much did it cost to develop aspirin?
I don't know.
Over
we're not
$1 billion.
We're not
The first pill
aspirin.
that came out from aspirin was $1 billion it cost for that first pill.
What is the price?
Well,
it's a lot of
would
money.
it be? How long did it take to develop it?
Who knows?
30 years.
Yeah, you assume that the
doesn't
medical
even affect genetics.
I know, man, and I've listened to you talk a lot, and every time I want to speak, you interrupt me. So
that's your basis? Is I'm interrupting you?
No, I'm letting you speak, but every time I bring something up that you disagree with, you interrupt me.
Your response back to me is that's your opinion. That's not a response back. So if
no, but I was trying to say something earlier.
All right, fine, go at it.
So have you looked into anything
Selenium?
that I'm not even talking about Selenium. About this being a venture capital firm.
Yes, it is.
Fibrosis
It
Foundation?
absolutely is. I agree that. That's the whole purpose of the CF Foundation. Yes. They're trying to make money for research. What else?
I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought because...
I do that all the time. I totally respect that.
But
what's your name again?
Joshua.
My name is Rob. Joshua,
nice to meet you, Rob. Yeah, you too. So, could it be possible that the higher-ups are 20 to 30 years ahead of us in terms of technology and medical understanding?
Anything's possible.
Okay, so they know that...
Do they know? I don't know that.
They may or may not know
whether
or not disease like cancer, CF, HIV, AIDS could be cured.
Okay.
And isn't it more profitable to keep people alive than just to...
Of course it is. Doctors don't lie. I've read the book.
Okay.
I understand that concept. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't doubt that in...
But cystic fibrosis is separate from all that, right?
It is. It's well... I see what you just tried to do. I'm not going to jump into that.
I'm not trying to do anything.
However, we're talking about one specific genetic disorder. Is it likely that most capitalist firms are trying to make money off of people's sickness? Absolutely.
Okay.
Why else would they be in business? But if you look at the audit of last year from the CF, and you look at where their money goes, and you compare that to another company like GE, or as GE Healthcare, or to GM, General Motors, or Ford, or take your pick, and watch where that money goes. How much does I told you how much the CEO of one of those companies makes?
Sure.
With their dividends, hundreds of millions of dollars is their payment. And the CEO of the CF Foundation, that's worth how much money again?
About
the billions?
No, he makes about $1 million because Beal stepped down.
How much money does the CF Foundation have?
They have right now about $3.5 billion.
So for comparison, so GM is
coincidentally makes
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure GM their revenue was like $6 billion or something like that last year.
Sure.
And so if I'm taking just a standard ratio, the amount that they pay their CEO is peanuts compared to what they pay him. Does that make it right that they get paid more than we do? Well, in my eyes, yes, because he's doing something that benefits my family so that they can stay alive. To me, that's justified for that amount of money.
Would you ever not do cystic fibrosis treatments?
Until if they found a cure for it.
No,
Why would I stop?
No cure. Just set everything aside. Started doing your own research. Juice.
Started doing my own research.
Yeah.
Okay, so she gets juice every day. I have a juicer. I don't just give her a blend of like carrots and stuff. I mean, it's a mixture of different things that I know are beneficial.
Okay.
I understand the concept. I'm doing everything I can that will make sure that she can live a long, healthy life.
Yep.
I don't pretend that medical has all the answers. I understand that, but that you're denying the medical side of it carte blanche is asinine, frankly.
Yeah, I know.
You even said that you understand that medicine has its place. It does.
Yep.
And because they haven't put more research into the one thing you're interested in, you think that they're completely just fraudulent.
They may or may not be.
Off of one thing.
Maybe that's the answer.
That's possible, but very unlikely. So I'm saying.
Well, a lot of people think that the Bible may or may not be the answer, and.
Well, we're not going to really discuss it. I don't need to go there.
Yeah, but you brought up GE, so if you bring up other.
GE gives you the Bible. General
Electric. No, because you were talking about how much other CEOs make.
Yeah.
And we weren't talking about other CEOs, and I allowed you to go through your, explanation. But then I bring up that people believe that the Bible is the answer, and everything else is false.
Right. That's
okay.
fair. Yeah.
And you don't want to talk about that. So that's kind of the same thing where there might be an answer
you're trying to make a connection that somehow I don't want to talk about because I'm saying we don't need to go off in a religious discussion. If you want to talk about that on the basis of what we're speaking with, that's fine. I totally get that. But don't give me the okay, obviously you're not going to give me that. That's totally fine. But yes, like you believe personally is what you believe.
Sure.
People that have a religious background believe they believe. I mean, that's why Christians and Muslims fight against each other all the time. They both believe that they're right. And that's it. And if you're in an argument like you and I are right now, and we both believe are right, nothing can change that. But all I came over here to ask you to do was stay away from my daughter.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. And I forgot your name again.
Joshua.
I'm Rob.
Rob,
I really do hope that things work out for you, but
yeah, you too, man.
Again, please don't put anybody else at risk if they ask you to stay away.
Well, yeah, I can respect that, but
awesome.
That may or may not be fear-mongering, man, to keep Cystic Fibrosis Foundations isolated.
Then I'll own that one. That'll be my fear-mongering.
Okay.
And I would appreciate if you'd respect me.
So when I grew up and I was hanging out with cystic fibrosis patients and stuff regularly,
it's really awesome that you think I'm just incredibly ignorant to how this works.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, how come I was able to do that?
I can tell you why. You're talking to the wrong person, man. I didn't just sit down and accept this one day, okay? At what average age is the first cystic fibrosis patient that's born with it end up contracting Pseudomonas?
You tell me, because apparently you're
I'm
very wise in what you're doing.
I'm
so
asking you
there's
so
a lot
we
of
can
people
confirm.
That may or may
I know
not
what age it is. You can tell me.
I don't know.
It's around 23.
Okay.
So the concept is that as young kids they don't develop it yet. They haven't gotten that mutation, that mucus hasn't built up and hasn't allowed that to set in yet, that virus.
Okay.
They don't contract it that early. So can they? Yes. But we're trying to get them to be independent and learn how to do this by themselves so that when they step out into the world that they will actually take care of themselves. I know CF patients that smoke. I mean, your lungs are already deteriorating. Yeah. From birth, in most cases, unless you have a lesser mutation of it. But why would you do damage to yourself? Forget the fact you have CF, that you're smoking in general. It's just a bad choice.
Yeah, it is.
Right, exactly. So can kids interact with kids that have CF? Yes, they can. Should they? Probably not. That's a matter of a parent's opinion. And in my opinion, I want her to learn early to not start doing those kinds of things because it can't put her life at risk.
And so
once you contract Pseudomonas, you will continue to get it again and again and again. They try to stop that first one from ever happening.
Okay,
that's
so
the goal.
Let me ask you this question. So 23, 24 is the general. So what about people that were born and then died before they got to that age?
They didn't die of Pseudomonas. They died of different things. So my daughter would have died of a bowel obstruction. She couldn't pass nutrients through her body. There was literally a wall that stopped that from happening.
Okay.
That's just one option. That's just one thing that happens. It's very common, and it's a sign of people that have cystic fibrosis when they're born. That's why they do ultrasounds to prevent those kinds of things from killing them when they're born, to get it ready. So there are different things that can cause you to die at birth or shortly thereafter. I mean, that's not the only one that does it, but of course there are various mutations, just like you know. So of course, some people don't have that problem. They're different severities. And because yours isn't as severe, doesn't make the fact that people have CF in severe forms.
Well, it may or may not be as severe.
It's clearly not, because you're doing well.
I'm doing as well as I need to be to do what I'm doing.
There's a lot of people that are doing really well, and there are some people that are doing very, very poorly.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And I can actually agree with you too that there are a lot of people that are abusing the system in the sense that they do things because their child has cystic fibrosis to garner attention or garner whatever it is they
victimization,
want. You know, that's actually a great word. I completely agree with that. That's why we aren't a part of the.
I used to be in that
at large.
You know.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I think that we should be more supportive. And victimization is not a good way to go.
Well,
but those are individuals.
Again, isn't isolation because of this quote Pseudomonas issue?
It is. That's exactly why they do it. You know, because of Pseudomonas.
Okay, and that's just a prevalent, known thing. Everybody knows that cystic fibrosis patients carry it?
No, of course they don't.
Oh, okay. So I may or may not have Pseudomonas, or your daughter may or may not have it?
It's true. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm not going to put out such a
So we haven't been diagnosed. I haven't been diagnosed with Pseudomonas, and she hasn't.
Right.
So why can't we communicate with each other? Not that I'm going to.
I told you,
know what I'm saying?
my goal is to teach her how to interact when she's older, so that it doesn't cause her to have a life-threatening situation where she contracts something like that.
Okay.
I don't want her to do that. It's about teaching them. She has to learn to do her own treatments every day, regardless of whether or not she wants to do it.
So can I ask you a question? In regards to spirituality and medicine, are they separate or are they the same thing?
That would actually. seriously, man, you're talking to the wrong person because
I know.
I'm saying I'm not some ignorant moron you walk up to on the street. Okay?
I don't want you to be.
So 2 years ago, I can't remember what university it was. I'll go find it. I think it was Ohio. They actually found the literal connection that works from your brain to your system for that fights off disease and whatever it's called. I can't remember. Sorry, but they understand that there is a connection between mind and body. It's not BS anymore.
Right.
Absolutely, there's a connection there. And if you don't believe you're going to get better, as just a one general statement, you probably won't get better. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
If you like have a constant, like somebody's sick, a coworker's sick, and you're like, oh, I hope I don't get sick. Like you have this like, stay away from me, like this mentality of like, a couple days later, maybe you get sick.
Right.
Because it's just your thoughts and your thought life, maybe.
Well, it's more likely you probably touched something that they touched and you passed it along. I mean, do you know what the standard time for most, the cold and for RSV and the different things that we can get?
It's like, 48, 72 hours?
They can live outside your body, exactly, yeah. And you're interacting with somebody in a work environment, it's very likely that they went like this and touched something that you touched too. I mean, it's easily communicable. This is just basic science. It's not like anything crazy, yeah. But if I'm hearing what you're saying correctly is that you can just will yourself to be better.
Not necessarily will, but just don't put yourself in that line of thinking on a regular basis.
Of course not.
But know that you're confident and strong enough because of what you do.
Absolutely, and I talk with that every day. I herniated a disc in my back.
Separate from cystic fibrosis.
It is. The concept of it, though, is that most people that get herniated discs, they end up fighting back pain for the rest of their life. And the concept is they don't want to get better because they think that I'm stuck with this. I never accepted that, okay? I had 8mm herniation, and I don't expect you to know what that is, but that's a massive herniation of a spinal cord out of a disc. It's huge. Yeah, it should be debilitating, okay? But I was not going to accept the fact that was going to happen. My mind told me I'm getting better, I'm going to get back to things I want to do, and I'm getting there. And I did the work. It wasn't a simple statement of I'm going to get better. Then I had to actually do what I was expected to do, and it worked.
Could that be something that I may or may not be doing right now?
It's not one single thing. Everybody knows that everything is based on more than one concept. Take anything in the world. It's never one-sided. There are multifacets to it. Cystic fibrosis is taking if you obviously know like their nutrition standards for that. They try to get They take a multifaceted approach. And I'll tell you one thing that was a little annoying to me is that they told me I had to wait to give her juice until she was about 2 years old in concentrated forms because her bowels specifically weren't ready for it yet. I'm like, that's cool. But now she's over 2 years old and I do it all the time. I understand the concept of multifaceted, of taking juice and health and diet and medicine. We put it all together. And the CF Foundation is the same thing. They don't just tell people just take these drugs and stay away from people. I mean, you've obviously done your research. They've been on the pages. They have miles of information on how to care for yourself, not based on more than just one thing.
Yeah.
What else do you want to say? You said I was cutting you off. I don't want to cut you
off. Well, I mean, kind of I don't even remember what it was, those topics, but I guess my point is
you'd like to see them put more research back into something that they said they don't want to anymore.
Yeah. I just think that it's frustrating that when I bring a subject up that is...
Are you lobbying them? Do you send them information?
I have sent them information. I have called them.
You continue to, because it doesn't happen off one thing. Obviously, if
for about 2 months. For about 2 months I did, and I never received a phone call from this lady. And I just had to step away for a while.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
it's
it was
possible your approach may have been a little bit aggressive too. So I'm saying you were a little aggressive when you came out here. So
I'm just standing there, holding
You were aggressive when you came there, standing there talking to us.
Well, you saw my sign, so.
You came over and approached us and started telling us about what you were believing. So you instigated it. However, it was my choice to engage you, and I'm happy to do so because I have done my research and done my time. So I'm saying I'm offering a tip. Maybe it was your approach. It was too aggressive.
Yeah, because I am kind of getting tired of
strongly. If you think about it strongly, why would you stop doing it? This seems more like just a social media platform rather than actually doing some good. If the company you think is doing wrong,
but I'm just one guy, man.
I know. I'm just one guy.
I can't change
the state of the world. They don't give a rip about you? Nope. You have cystic fibrosis. Do you think they don't care about you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a fair statement. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
But if you believe that strongly about something, there's no reason to stop doing it instead of just coming out here and trying to instigate conversations with people.
No, I'm just holding a sign saying that you might want to investigate the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
It's on your video, and you know that.
And I've done that to other people too.
Right, I'm saying, but don't say like you're just out here just standing here still. You came out here to have a conversation. And I'm glad we're having this conversation, but I'm saying if you really are concerned about this, don't stop lobbying them. Keep writing them, but
I
don't be
appreciate
aggressive.
Your encouragement.
Don't be aggressive though. I mean, if you wrote a letter that says you people are frauds, if I got a mail like that, I would just throw it away too. Why would you want to talk about that? You have to take an approach that's appropriate, that they're going to listen to. And you need to find people you can get in contact with. People here at a CF walk are not going to be able to engage you in like at the top levels, obviously, or even at the mediocre, the intermediate levels. That's impossible. So hopefully this is more than just a social media stance that you're trying to get.
No, it's not. I actually
on
do this
Facebook.
on a daily basis about other topics too, because I'm just tired of getting pushed around by people who
I agree
are over us. And
a lot of companies do that. They find it. I mean, we all understand the housing boom was a complete disaster because, based on what you said, we're in a capitalist society. They didn't give a crap about people and their lives. They were making money.
But why do people compartmentalize that, but then they can't ever bring that information to other...
I'm not compartmentalizing it, but I'm telling you, I've done my time looking into the CF Foundation, and I don't feel like there's anything they're doing that is in that same regard that's not helping my daughter.
Okay.
Their purpose is to help my daughter, and the people... and
keep her alive, keep me alive. Cure us? Is that another story?
You don't think that's help to keep somebody alive? Of course it is.
To an extent, but why can't they just cure us? I mean, isn't $3.5 billion enough money?
As far as you and I both know right now, or anybody else in the world that we know of, you can't mutate a gene specifically. You can't go in and splice out a section of it.
You don't know that, man. You're not. You don't have that pay grade.
You and I don't know that. Nope. You're right. But as far as we know right now, it's not possible. And if we find out it's possible...
But it could be possible because some things that I do look up are very provocative in that regard.
I never said they weren't provocative. There's all kinds of things, but there's also a way to make connections that aren't there. One of which is called logical fallacies. Just because you eat Cheerios for breakfast doesn't mean you have CF doesn't mean that Cheerios cause CF. Okay, there are different connections we can make, but it doesn't make them right. And as far as you and I both know right now, publicly, nobody can splice genetics. And until that happens from some company or some university...
Have you looked into it and seen?
You're asking me if I looked into it?
I'm asking.
I'm a little insulted now.
Well,
seriously?
I mean, come on, Rob. I'm asking a question just to make sure that...
I'll answer your question. That's fair enough. Yes, I don't believe there's anybody that can do that right now. If I did, I would go find that company and I would start talking to them and asking them, well, what can I do to make this mutation go away? How can I change this so that it doesn't have this problem anymore? Of course I would. That's why I would. I just told you I want to do anything I can to help my daughter.
Yeah.
And you think that I'm, based on my conversations I had with you, that I take a multifaceted approach? Why would I not keep looking? I look every day.
So you've put the selenium thing to bed, and like there's nothing there.
My basis for it, that's all I know about it. I obviously don't have the understanding you do about it.
I don't have very much understanding to it. I do just think it's very weird that they refuse to do a study now about it.
Well, because they decided that it wasn't enough, it wasn't beneficial enough. So,
but it showed positive results in the 70s.
It showed some positive results. The overall
clearly it showed enough positive results so that Joel Wallach stepped down from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and wrote a book. So he got a book deal out of it.
Which is the same as you and I. He firmly believes that. He firmly believes that there was an issue there. Okay? It doesn't mean that everybody else... So everybody else... Who's everybody else? Doesn't matter. So not everyone thinks the same way he does, right?
Yeah, because he's not funded by the establishment to promote cystic fibrosis as being a genetic disease that may or may not be a mineral deficiency.
So he's one guy that has a different opinion about it.
And I'm one guy who has a different... And you just told me that I should call the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation if I feel so strongly about it, but they never return my phone calls, and they don't...
And you gave up.
Talk. I did, because they just...
That's not a good approach, man. I'm gonna work with her whole life to make sure that she can live as long as possible. I'm not gonna do it for 2 months and then go, well, she's probably better now.
Yeah,
it's not a good idea.
I was at a different state of mind about a while back when I went into this, and so I'm at a different state of mind, and I might go back into it and say, hey, remember me? And like you said, I appreciate the suggestion and change my approach, and maybe I'll get a different response having the coals have been cooled, if you will.
Fair enough. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. You were passionate about it, and you didn't like that. You didn't like what they were doing. It makes sense to calm down. It makes perfect sense. But we can't splice genetics yet.
I can't agree with that, man. I don't know if we can or can't.
Until someone actually.
I actually think we can.
Until somebody actually does it, and the public knows about it, we can't.
They might have done it 10 years ago, and they're not going to tell us until 10 years from now.
Well, you can say that statement with so many things. So many things.
I know.
Okay, but as far as the public knows right now, that's probably fair. We can't splice genetics.
Okay.
And if they could, that would be fantastic. But that's the cure, is the splice genetics. That is the cure. And until we can do that, then we just keep fighting, man.
When, off topic slightly, when Magic Johnson was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS, why is he still alive? You know, a lot of people who had HIV/AIDS at that time.
Hang on. I just want to. You're going to let you keep talking, but you do understand HIV and AIDS are two different things.
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Okay,
it's
go ahead.
HIV that causes the.
Is a cause of AIDS. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like you said, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I just thought that was kind of weird that everybody.
There are a lot of people that have HIV that haven't gotten AIDS yet.
Yeah.
It hasn't turned to that form yet, and I actually don't know why they don't get to that point sometimes. But not everybody contracts AIDS and they have HIV.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
do you know anybody who has HIV/AIDS?
Not me specifically. No.
Me neither. Okay. So everything that I've seen has been through TV, news, and on various other media websites.
Have you ever held $1 million in your hand?
Yeah, I heard that before.
Okay,
and
I'm just saying, it came from the Santa Claus. It's like a very old movie, but I'm just saying, just because we haven't seen something, I mean, I'm sure I could go online on my phone right now and find somebody who has HIV in this area, and they'd be happy to talk with you.
I know. Yep. I'm just saying.
So I just want to make sure, are you making the statement that HIV isn't actually real?
I didn't say that.
That has it?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm asking you.
No.
Okay.
I can't comment on
that. It sounded like that's the connection you were making.
Okay.
But from what we do know about HIV is they don't all turn into AIDS, but when they do, you will die.
Okay.
I mean, that's the end of it. But to go back to your point about do we know that capitalist companies are abusing the system and trying to make money off it? Of course we do. Why do we think?
But the CF Foundation is not.
No, and to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
And I'll you know what? No, they're not. And that's my statement, and that's from my research.
Okay.
The guy that bought the drug for HIV, I can't remember what the guy's name is. Why do you think there's so much blowback on social media about that? Because he made the price like inordinately expensive for a country that can barely afford it. And why did he do that? At a personal gain. I mean, that's completely inhuman to do that kind
Could
of thing.
Could that be Kaleido? I mean, it does cost over almost $300,000 a year for a patient to use that.
It does. How much of that is subsidized?
I don't know, because I can't get it.
90% of it is subsidized.
And a lot of insurance companies won't carry it.
It may cost that much money, but nobody pays that much money unless you are literally the CEO of GE. They might charge you that much.
Right. Or if you just, have that kind of money, right? Yeah.
Well, Kaleido is only effective for, I think, I want to say like 5% of the population of CF patients. It's the most common one.
And that's not unacceptable in your eyes?
No, of course it's not. That's why they're still working to find a better cure for it.
Okay.
That's not even a cure in itself. It mitigates what happens with CF, but it doesn't cure it. It can't splice the genes. No, why would I think that that's acceptable? That's the whole concept of the CF Foundation, is to make more money for research. Mm-hmm. They're constantly doing that every day. They found one that was amazing. It's done such a good job, but the mutations that people have, that affects most of the people that have CF. It's the most common mutation, but it doesn't affect all the people with CF. So of course they have to keep looking. Why would they stop with 5%? That'd be crazy. And that number's wrong. I know it is. It's like 50%, but
sure.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, same thing. We're working towards it. Don't stop doing what you think you're doing with. I don't mean like with you and I. This is obviously a bad thing in my opinion, but like with the company. If you feel that way about it, then you should definitely keep working about it. People do that against religions and companies all the time. But anyway, the guy that bought the HIV drug obviously was a terrible person. I'll make that statement.
Okay.
But
so if information about the people who are in the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, if information about them came up like you just said about this guy with HIV/AIDS, would that change your perspective of the CF Foundation?
Of course it would. Yeah. If I found out a guy just blanketly just jacked the price up to people to a third. So let's just back up. Yeah. Because cystic fibrosis basically affects white people. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, right? From what history has told us, it came from Europe during the plagues, which of course is a white Caucasian population.
Right.
So we have interminglings with different populations and different cultures and stuff. I understand that, but HIV/AIDS isn't a genetic disorder. It's something that's transmitted like a cold is. Mm-hmm. And in a population that basically bans contraceptives in Africa, why would you do that to somebody that is literally going to affect that population specifically?
Right.
Because they get all their money from different countries to be able to pay for that.
Yep.
I mean, they don't have the funding to do that. So you're basically just making money off of a government and trying to make a profit. And that's a terrible thing. We're talking about a small population of 30,000 people in the United States, roughly 60,000 worldwide. So of course, supply and demand tells us that if you are making it for a tiny little population, it's going to be more expensive until you mass produce something on a scale It's going to be expensive, but it's still not as bad as that idiot that did that with HIV. That was terrible.
Yeah. So.
What else?
I don't know. Just. I'll take in your.
If you see anybody wearing purple beads, I'm asking you, and not just my daughter, please keep your distance.
Yeah, I don't agree with the purple beads, man.
You may not have what's that?
I don't agree with the bead thing, man.
It was. I liked it because at least told me to make sure that I know how to keep my daughter safe.
Yeah. Do you know what they do Fat Tuesday?
That's fantastic.
Fat Tuesday?
Yes, I understand the beads and the. Yes, I get the.
I mean, don't you think like that's duality?
You know what?
Esoteric, exoteric.
I like that they made an attempt to make sure that they could tell people, if you want to be cautious, here's how to do it. And that's all it was. I seriously doubt that their intention was to somehow make a connection with the.
Are you familiar with MK Ultra mind control?
What's that?
Are you familiar with MK Ultra mind control?
To what degree?
Well, they have a program called the Monarch program, which is a butterfly.
Okay.
And you don't think that the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation getting $3.3 billion is a coincidence, considering that 33 is the highest rank in the Scottish Rite Freemasonry?
No, I don't. But
no,
you said getting $3.6 billion?
3.3,
no,
in 2014.
How did they get that money?
Through a conflict of interest when they invested that money, $150 million in 2001.
Out of an investment, right. They didn't
get
that
they
money.
coincidentally knew that was going to profit them.
Their business model directed them. That's how they make money for the foundation. They invest in different companies.
I thought this is how they make money for the foundation.
That's a fair statement. They make money from different places. Just like I said, is that you take a multifaceted approach to anything in life. It's never one-sided, is it? You make money off of fundraising, you make money off of research, you make money off of... They do research for different drugs. Did you know that? Outside of the CF Foundation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. So that when that drug hits the market and makes money, they take that and they put it into another investment. They're trying to make money to find a cure. It's expensive. Again, the first
What if they know
pill,
that they're not ever going to find a cure by giving us the medication that we have?
That would be a terrible thing, and I'd rank him right up there with that guy with the HIV drug. That'd be terrible, terrible.
Okay.
But I don't have any reason to believe that right now.
Okay.
You obviously do.
Yeah, and I think that is wrong, and
fair enough.
And all things in darkness will be revealed. So
back to our original conversation.
Sure, man.
We'll just keep our distance.
Yeah, I don't even know where your daughter is, so I wasn't here to infect quote people with Pseudomonas. And again, I think it's wrong for them to say that is true, because it isolates cystic fibrosis patients from interacting with each other, so that you can relate.
On the cystic fibrosis page, one of the things they said is that they are trying to find a way to connect these kids, because that's one that's really hard to not want to be with somebody that has something similar. You can I can't remember the word I'm thinking.
Relate.
Relate. Thank you. Yeah. But they're trying to find ways to do that, because they used to integrate them all the time. They go to them to camps, and these kids would come back really, really sick sometimes. Not all of them, because they all had different degrees of mutations, but they come back really sick, and they had to stop doing that. So at a hospital, when a kid goes in or a patient goes in that has CF that day at one of the clinics, they don't use that hospital room for the rest of the entire day.
Yeah.
They're not going to take a chance that anything in there could possibly reinfect one of the other patients.
A healthy person could go into a hospital and get sick right away.
Yeah, they do.
A hospital is a...
That's why if you...
Petri dish.
It is. It absolutely is. That's why they don't do that. They're trying to avoid that from happening. That's
So-
why when I go into a hospital, my daughter doesn't wait in line, because she can contract things faster and more severely that are lung-related than anybody else can.
So they were able to, like you said, Cheerios and CF, they were able to specifically pinpoint that CF patients were getting this from other CF patients.
Yes.
Okay. It had no relation to do with another person, another human being having such a thing.
Pseudomonas isn't passed along among only the CF population. It's passed among people that have the same issue with their lungs. So it's not exclusive to them, but by far and away, it's basically passed among the CF community.
It is now. It is now, right?
Keep going. What are you saying?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it is now, because at one point it was given to us, whether indirectly, maybe directly, to promote such ideas in the future.
So, this is probably the wrong clip to step off.
Sure,
let's talk about measles.
Yeah.
Right now. Mm-hmm. So there is a measles outbreak in the Twin Cities among the smaller population right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fantastic. Good. Yep. Measles was basically eradicated in the United States. And
that's what they tell us. Yeah.
Based on public knowledge.
Sure. Yeah.
It was eradicated in the United States, and now it's having a resurgence. And the connectivity for it is the people that don't want to take the vaccine for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's the same thing with a supervised with what we're talking about. So as a whole, we understand this is the best treatment for it, and because somebody stops doing it, doesn't mean that it's okay, that it's like medically a good idea. And you're right, I'm losing my train of thought now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I guess my point is, with vaccines, is if you're vaccinated, then you don't have to worry about those who are not vaccinated. Is that a fair statement? Does that make sense?
No.
No?
It's not a fair statement.
So if everybody here is vaccinated and I'm not vaccinated, would people be psychologically afraid of me?
It depends on what we're talking about. Which vaccination?
I mean, it may, but
measles?
No, just a general concept of vaccines. You know, if I'm vaccinated and you're not, why should I be afraid of you?
No, be afraid of me. No.
Yeah,
no,
like
no.
I'm going to get what
Not
you
afraid of
have.
me. Okay,
because you're not
That's
vaccinated.
an interesting phrase you just used. We're not being afraid of people.
Oh.
We're afraid of what we can contract from somebody. It's like separating people from their behaviors. They don't make them a bad person because they acted indifferently.
Well,
to
it
somebody.
does, because if I'm trying to get away from being an alcoholic and I hang out with people who drink,
right?
Do you think that I would be drawn into drinking alcohol again?
More than likely.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you're vaccinated,
right,
and I'm not, and we hang out together, are you afraid that you would get what I may or may not have?
If it was something like the flu, yeah.
Yeah.
Like at work, if I know people haven't gotten the flu shot, I do actually go out of my way to not directly interact closely with them.
Okay, so you're psychologically, intentionally thinking about somebody else having the flu. Doesn't that go back to what we were saying, separating science from spirituality?
I didn't know. Separating. We were in agreement on that.
No, I know, but like, people do separate science and spirituality, right?
But we know
because
no matter
for a lot of people,
how much you want. Sorry to cut you off. But
Yeah.
no matter how much we don't want to get the flu, if I touch the same doorknob as somebody else did that wiped their nose and then wiped my nose, I'm more than likely going to get the flu if I haven't gotten a shot yet. Not guaranteed, because the flu shot is directed towards the last year's different mutations of the flu.
Okay.
It doesn't always affect 100%, but I'm taking precautions to make sure I don't get sick.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. My own personal opinion and experience that I have come across is I don't take the flu shot anymore. I think that they put things in it that cause things that weren't developed decades ago. And I think that it is part of the eugenics idea in 2030. So that's my opinion. And there's a lot of mercury in vaccines. There's not?
There's a tiny bit of mercury in vaccines.
Okay, so you admit that there's mercury.
Amount,
Did
yes.
you know that there is no amount of mercury that is safe for a human being?
Obviously, that's not true.
Okay, well,
otherwise we would be dropped. I mean, what part of the body does mercury affect?
The brain.
And?
Probably the heart. I mean,
liver.
And the liver.
Yeah,
okay.
Like dramatically, it will like F you up.
Sure.
To be perfectly blunt.
Well, so will drinking vodka every day.
Fair enough. That's true. Yeah, but there's no level of mercury that is safe for human consumption.
No, there's not.
If that wasn't true, then people would be having massive issues with taking vaccines every year, the flu specifically.
Okay, and that's your opinion. In addition to that, cancer treatments with chemotherapy may or may not contain baking soda. Did you know that baking soda may or may not be a sufficient way to suppress cancer, and it may or may not cure somebody?
Did you also know that the water exists in only every harmful chemical in the United States and in the whole world and in the universe that could kill you?
So does fluoride.
So just because it has something in there that can cause an issue, when you combine it with different chemicals, it doesn't mean it has the same result. We understand that. It's science. You can't say that water is bad when it's in everything, literally.
Okay, so it's science, right?
So the primary compound in something that you're saying is causing all these issues doesn't mean that it's causing all these issues, point blank. Because I can pull a chemical out of anything. There's carbon in everything that exists in the universe, right? Yeah. So maybe carbon's at fault.
So, excuse me. So, people's claims with their children taking a vaccine and then getting autism or Asperger's or being a completely different person, that's completely unrelated to vaccines.
It is.
Okay.
Now, can they prove that scientifically? No, but they can make enough conclusive
statements.
No, they've got enough conclusive evidence that is not connected. Point blank.
From peer reviews or what?
Well, from the medical community, or what do you want specifically to know?
Well, I mean, because it kind of lines up with global warming, right? Because there's a lot of people who don't believe global warming is real.
Yeah, they're based. You're right. They're based on models. Do they know? Do they know for sure? Do we know anything for sure? Of course not. We find out things all the time that we unfortunately were incorrect on. But it doesn't mean that you don't take the approach that seems to be the correct one at the time. Otherwise, you're taking a pretty severe risk that puts you or somebody else, your life or your health at risk. Why would you take that choice?
Yeah, for some people.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying, based on what we understand as a public, is to make choices to avoid bad things from happening. I mean, if you want to drive in the left lane, you probably will make it to work. But there's a good chance you probably won't. More than likely, you'll get in an accident. We're talking about those kinds of odds until we have concrete evidence. I mean, when you get out in the universe, the same laws of physics on this planet don't apply out there.
But we haven't been to the universe yet, Rob. We've never traveled to Mars or the moon.
We as a human species?
Yeah,
you're right, we haven't. But I'm saying we understand that.
So you believe that we have not landed on the moon?
No, I never said that.
Okay.
I'm saying that.
But you keep bringing up outer space and how the physics out there are different from here on Earth. So how can that be proved if we've never been out there before? And we've only been to low Earth orbit.
In the exact same statement I said before, until we can directly interact with something, we don't know for sure, but we base it off of an ideal. Again, going back to my left lane, right lane.
Okay.
You drive in the right lane, you're probably not getting an accident. You drive in the left lane, oncoming traffic, you're probably going to get in an accident. You're not guaranteed to. People may all get out of your way. But there's a pretty good chance you're going to. So what we understand, these are the choices we make based on the most accurate information. Okay. We don't make choices off of the most inaccurate information. That's a very bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough, you know.
All right, I'm getting dehydrated.
I know, man. I really appreciate
been a good conversation, but
you too,
again,
Rob.
please keep back.
Hey,
that's all I'm asking.
Ditto, man. And I appreciate your encouragement to speak to the CF Foundation.
I'm not telling you I know how to do that either, but
I don't know either,
if you
man.
feel strongly about it, make sure you keep looking at a different approach. Don't look at just the one approach that's male. Try a different one, because I mean, God help us if you can find a better way to do it, then I'm all for it.
Okay.
But again, in the meantime, unfortunately, confrontational side of me, just please keep your distance.
I get it.
All right.
Totally understand. Have a good rest of your weekend, man. Appreciate it, Rob. All right. Well, that was interesting. I didn't expect that. But it's coming up on 11:30. Everybody's headed back. That's interesting. That is interesting. I think I talked to him so that I could be encouraged to talk to the CF Foundation. He's talking to that guy that I talked to earlier who suggested that I leave, so they're probably talking about me. He's probably giving them intel about what I think and why I'm here and everything. You know, so they're all like-minded. They understand what's in their eyes and in their interpretation of what we're given. So what I get from that interaction, it was quite a long interaction. I was not expecting that. But it was good. It was good encouragement, because I think I might go to the CF Foundation and give a different approach in regards to a selenium study, if you will. Might get some pizza. Got free pizza here. And I think my time here is done. I think I said what I wanted to say. I think I saw what I needed to see. There's not really no reason to beat a dead horse, and I think I had a long enough conversation. I don't really feel like having another conversation with anybody about this right now. I need to process that so I can try to come up with a game plan here soon and call the CF Foundation and just get some answers. You know, why are they avoiding a study about selenium? You know, even if it starts now, it might be 5 years, 10 years from now, where a study could actually be done a qualified study. And so I guess his role was to encourage me to not stop, because I was pretty heavy into it about a year ago. And I investigated, and I did go for about 2 months. And my heart and my mind, I guess, were at a different spot where I saw this information, and I did have an approach that I could analyze and change to see if I can get a better result. So I'm going to get some food, and then I'm going to head down to, I think, the University of Minnesota, and then we'll do Twins game later. Hang out in front of the target field. So, not really a reason to hang out. I don't really want to have a conversation with any of these people about anything. So, I'm gonna get some food, pizza that they got. Some GMO pizza. Appreciate everybody hanging out and stopping by. This, I don't know what to expect. I don't have a script. I don't know who I'm going to be talking to, how it's going to go, and whatnot. But it was definitely a learning experience. And I still feel very strongly about the CF Foundation being a fraud and a lie. But we'll have to go about our business in a different manner. I think I was led to talk to Rob so that I could get a little bit more confidence about what it is that I plan on doing in the future about this. They're selling carbonated beverages. That's always good for CF patients. Some water. Can I grab one of these cards?
Of course you can.
Awesome, thanks.
Yes, thank you. This is the Monarch device. This is the new portable vest system.
Yep.
So, thank you. Yeah. Pretty cool. Let us know if there's anything we can do. Yep. Thanks for stopping, you guys.
Do you have a brochure I could grab from you?
I don't.
Oh.
This is literally, but what online here,
yeah,
you can go online and it has everything there. We literally just launched this last Thursday,
yeah,
and so I have not a lot of brochures.
Sure.
So then my brochures actually were out in like 5 minutes with the one at another conference, and so, but it's all online.
Okay.
So there's a lot more. So eventually, this is the backpack that it comes with, and so this backpack, it's or the bag that comes in. It's a backpack on the back. So is it on there? Yeah, it is. Backpack. Are you recording first?
Yeah, I'm actually Facebook Live right now. I have cystic fibrosis myself. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Well, it's not cool because.
Well, no, that you're Facebook Live.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. That's really cool though. Facebook Live. So this is the device, and it comes with the backpack. So in the back, so you can literally be portable.
Oh. Awesome. Thanks for the information. Where'd you all get the pizza?
And then over there. And then over here. So we'll get pizza, and then there's chips and bananas and soda over here.
Great. Thanks. You too. All right. I think we stirred the pot up enough here. We don't have to.
What are you doing this summer with Reagan?
We'll just blend in. We'll be a gray man, if you will. Hope people wake up. Get some of the za. some of this za. If you want any pizza, downtown Minneapolis, come to Jets. You know, right? We're at the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation walk for a fraud. Cystic Fibrosis Foundation walk for a fraud. That's just my opinion. Again, the CF disease may or may not be cured with a selenium deficiency.
Yeah, he's back there.
It's really sad and unfortunate. I did get on the camera with my sign, so people may be able to look at that later. So these are all people who are walking for cystic fibrosis and the foundation to raise money to line the pockets of the CEOs.
Well, they were...
That's just my opinion. But I feel convicted enough about what I've read, heard, and seen that I had to come here and just experience these people, just kind of get a feel for the CF community. And get a, I don't know, kind of get a reaction, I guess, of the information that I was sharing, whether people want to agree with it or not, whether it's true or not. I am convicted about the CF Foundation having $3.5 billion to promote something that may or may not happen, and that's a cure. So I did get some good information and had a good conversation with the guy. And I think I was kind of led to him. I don't know, his interpretation of how I approached him was aggressive, and maybe that was good because he encouraged me to not stop my investigation about CF and selenium, and why the guy who first brought up the fact that CF may or may not be a selenium deficiency, shortly after he was, quote, fired from the CF Foundation when it was first initially starting in the mid to late 70s. And then he got a book deal. The guy's name is Joel Wallach. He's got a bunch of YouTube videos and whatnot. So Rob did help me calm down a little bit. So I'm not carrying the sign. I'm just carrying pizza and just trying to openly speak my mind right now, because I came in here with a genuine heart. You know, I wanted people to wake up, and I told you it was going to be a controversial episode today. And I can't, even if I'm in there and I give them the hypothetical, right? Because everybody else likes to work on theories. That's science. So hypothetically, if I was to come here and have proof and information that the CF Foundation did a study of selenium, and they're keeping that information from the public, if I had that information, people still wouldn't believe me. Because they would never believe that anybody would lie to them about this. Watch these people play volleyball and just kind of hang out and relax and vent, I guess. guys have never gone online and done a video vlog and just vented, you know, you should do it sometime. Start up a YouTube channel. You know, if something that you'd like to do, don't agree with, your thoughts, your opinions, so then it can be documented, you know. You never know, someday somebody might read it or hear it, and it might change how they think about life and give them an alternative view. You know, it's just your opinion too, your voice and your thoughts. It's good therapy.
Especially blind judges that sit back there with their dog.
Am I happy? Am I happy? You know, I don't know. I wish I could genuinely come to this CF walk, do my treatments, and just fall in line with everybody else. There's a part of me that I wish I could do that. I wish I could just conform and believe that what they're telling us about CF and everything else, space, the establishment, movies, and all that, I wish that was real. I wish we didn't live in a reality of lies and deception. So that I could just go back to sleep and blindly and ignorantly walk amongst everybody. So I mean, there is a sense of I am happy, you know, that I'm not there anymore. But it's frustrating to talk to people about subjects like this because it's not a thought or a thought life or an idea that would ever cross anybody's mind. There's just so much going on right now. There's so much interference. There's so many people who take what they hear and trust their source over somebody else's. And if my source doesn't line up with theirs, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about because the general consensus of people is you're wrong because all these people here are like-minded, so they all have to be right. You know, that's why I brought up the whole Bible thing to him. You know, there's a lot of people who think that they're right with the Bible. There's a lot of people who think that they're right with science. And politics. So I'm gonna just hang out here for a little bit, kind of, I guess, cool off and.
CF walk, raise some money.
CF Foundation's a fraud, man. Yeah.
Wait, what is it?
Don't walk by me and openly speak your mind without me having a comment about it, man. When I know that you know that you were. What you were doing?
I don't know. I haven't. I'm sorry.
The CF is a fraud. I'm not triggered, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. With all due respect, my little brother has CF.
Yeah, with all due respect, I have CF too.
Okay.
Okay.
And you think it's a fraud?
Dude, yeah.
sorry you think that.
Have you ever investigated the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation?
I have not, but I know about it.
Okay. How much money do they have in their bank account right now? Do you know? $3.5 billion.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know that it may or may not be a selenium deficiency?
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
It means that selenium is a mineral deficiency in the human body.
Okay.
You are a healthy, normal person, right?
Yep.
Quote normal. You have selenium. You don't have a problem with developing selenium in the body.
Okay.
But cystic fibrosis may or may not be a selenium deficiency.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that because you clearly know more than I do.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, man.
No, I understand. I just know, like, to walk around and say CF's a fraud in front of a ton of people that are, like, trying to help out people who is affected their lives as long as them.
Once people get educated and they realize that what they're doing is based in a foundation of lies and deception, and for you to walk by me and say exactly what you said, I don't think that it's coincidental.
With all due respect, I didn't know what you were doing. I didn't know you were, like, advocating against the fraud.
Sure,
so
okay, and I appreciate that. I was just being honest with you, man. But if your brother, right?
Yep, my little brother.
Little brother has cystic fibrosis.
Yes, he does.
Check it out, man.
I will.
Selenium.
Yeah.
Cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I didn't know what you're doing here.
Hey,
Sorry about
no problem, man.
Yeah.
Not a problem. But check it out. I'm 36 and I was born with cystic fibrosis. Okay. So I've been through the rigmarole.
Yep.
I don't do my treatments. I don't do anything for the last 18 months, and you know, I feel pretty healthy without. No, sir, man.
Yeah, well, you look great. I mean,
hey, I appreciate it. What's your name?
My name's Justin.
Justin.
Yeah.
God bless, man.
Yep.
Look into it a little bit, please. Thanks, man. Right? Calm down, Swift. But that was really bizarre, though. He just said that verbatim. It was great raising money for cystic fibrosis. Hey, he might have thought that. He might have said that, but I think I saw him over there when I was holding my sign, and how do you walk in line step with passion and what's the word? Maybe patience, but what? Passion and righteous anger. How about that? How do you combine passion and righteous anger to convey a message that you want other people to understand in a way that they don't feel turned off? You know what I mean? How do you go about your approach to get people to listen to you and understand where you're coming from? I actually lost my propaganda. I don't know where my papers went. Drop it in my pocket. So I was actually, when he stopped, I was going to show him this piece of paper and give him to him. But because I didn't throw them away. They must have fallen out of my pocket. So, you know, if you guys have anything that you're passionate about, that you don't agree with, that you've researched and you've looked into and you're frustrated that all your friends and family and fellow humans, you know, they don't want to investigate such information, make a YouTube channel. You know, post stuff on Facebook just to get a reaction, I guess, and put the feelers out and find out, you know, who may or may not agree with you. You know, people can walk around and they can say, I want to identify as a tree. Like, that's okay, right? And then they can start a walk and a fundraiser and have all this compassion because they want to walk around and they want to marry an inanimate object. You know, there's people out there that are married to love dolls who want to identify as a bear, so they walk around in a bear costume. You know, that's okay. Like, they get compassion for that. They get support from the establishment. Facebook time, YouTube, they get 3 million views from video and they only have a few hundred subscribers. But they have over 3 million views, right? Because that agenda is promoted by the establishment. If you don't believe me, that's fine. It's totally up to you. But look at your most popular video and it's just really bizarre how somebody could get millions of views because they want to tell everybody that they're in love with their car. Literally, like they're in love with it. They have relations with it, and that's okay. So I appreciate everybody watching and the encouragement, whether you agree with what I did or not, whether it made you feel uncomfortable, whether Rob was right and I'm wrong. You know, it was something that I felt led to do. So I'm going to hang out here for a little bit. We'll start heading to University of Minnesota here soon. And share information about NASA being a fraud. You know, there's certainly more. I have more propaganda to carry around to show that NASA is a fraud with CGI than what people think I have regarding the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And that's fine. That's a big giant, you know, and I'm just one guy. So Rob was encouraging, you know, he didn't agree with everything I said. I think it was good that I talked to him, though, because it kind of calmed my heart a little bit, and I was able to hear what he had to say. And it was good that he was informed, you know, but for him to kind of say, if I don't know my mutation number, it should be like knowing your social security number. I don't agree with that. I don't care enough to know that information. So appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm gonna finish up this pizza and just chill out outside for a little bit and kind of reset, calm down a little bit, and then go into my next venture of the day with a better understanding of how to approach and meet people where they're at. So thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you soon.